Hi guys, this is FD for Sage5.tv once more back with another video, and today we are going to jump into the first of our ISO 20022 series, where we look at the 7 cryptocurrencies that claim to meet ISO 20022. So as one of the cryptocurrencies featured in our ISO 20022 standard series, Algorand is the project we're going to be looking at, and it is a scalable, secure and decentralized digital currency and smart contracts platform. Its consensus mechanism is based on a variety of proof of stake called pure proof of stake to secure its network. In contrast to other proof of stake platforms, Algorand's pure proof of stake does not reward, nor does it put validators or user funds at risk. Founded by Silvio Micali, an MIT Turing Award-winning professor, Algorand's node repository is focused on developers and is open-sourced. It provides a robust set of developer tools and has recently been in the news, with the National Bank of Australia reportedly planning to launch a stablecoin on both Algorand and Ethereum. The National Bank of Australia stablecoin is going to use the ticker symbol AUDN, so that is a win for Algorand. And if you want to understand why they've chosen Algorand, please keep watching. What I'm sharing with you guys in this video is not financial advice. If you want to know more about Algorand, please do your own research. This is just a brief summary of what Algorand is and whether it is a good investment for us. So we are going to perform our DYOR risk evaluation to assess Algorand's suitability as part of our investments. That's the whole point of this exercise. So let's move on to Algorand's value proposition. Algorand claims to be the greenest cryptocurrency blockchain out there. In Algorand Virtual Machine, or AVM, Algorand supports smart contracts with Turing complete languages, larger program sizes, and more state. Smart contracts on Algorand are written in Transaction Execution Approval Language, or TEAL, T-E-A-L, as well as Python using a Python language binding called PyTeal. We all know that Python is a well-used and well-known language, and this makes it easier to onboard new developers. Transaction finality on Algorand is in the region of 5 seconds. Algorand Standard Assets, or ASA as they are commonly known, provides a standardized layer 1 mechanism to represent any type of asset on the Algorand blockchain. This can include fungible, non-fungible, restricted non-fungible assets. Algorand Standard Assets, or ASAs, have the following functionality. ASAs are incredibly fast and secure as they are built directly into the Algorand's layer 1. With ASAs, it's easy and simple to issue assets for developers and enterprises. With Algorand, there is universal interoperability of all assets issued on Algorand blockchain. And then we also have atomic transfers. This provides a trustless solution at layer 1 level where simultaneous transfers of a number of assets to numerous parties are performed. Use cases for atomic transfers include the simplified and expedited debt settlement, efficient merged funding, support for DEXs, instantaneous settlement of complex multi-party and multi-asset transactions, as well as any instance of multilateral trade. Now let's dive into some of Algorand's use cases. There is asset tokenization, third-party asset issuance, democratizing access to investments, cross-border payments, the ALGO token, which is the ticker symbol for the Algorand coin. The ALGO token, ticker symbol ALGO, is also used for governance purposes. And here is a list of asset examples that can be hosted on the Algorand blockchain. You got fungible tokens, which include in-game points. We've just been talking about the National Bank of Australia stablecoin, the AUDN. We also have loyalty points under fungible tokens, system credits, and cryptocurrencies. Non-fungible tokens include in-game items, supply chain, real estate, identity, certifications, and collectibles. So you can actually see that with certifications, you're probably talking of college or university diplomas and degrees, any documentation to accredit somebody after meeting a certain criteria or standard. You can also mint collectible. Restricted fungible tokens include securities, government-issued fiat or CBDCs, as well as certifications. So you can actually see that, for example, with certifications, you can have bond certificates. With government CBDCs, I will not be surprised to see Algorand hosting one or more CBDCs from some of the larger economies or countries. Restricted non-fungible tokens include real estate, ownership registries, regulatory certifications. The one I'm really interested in is regulatory certifications because I work in medical technology and auditing needs to be permissionless because at the moment, something is not working, something is broken. Anyway, unique functionalities of the Algorand blockchain include role-based asset control, or RBAC. This is optional and flexible asset controls for issuers and managers for business, compliance, and regulatory requirements. This includes quarantine assets accounts accounts for investigative purposes. This covers quarantine asset accounts for investigative purposes, force transfer an asset where legal or other regulations require that, whitelist model for privileged asset transacting, which allows only specific addresses that have been approved to transact with a specific asset, with the rest restricted. It also covers flexible asset reserve models for custom business requirements, as well as off-chain asset documentation included in on-chain asset definition. You also have user protections where asset spam protection that is meant to prevent unknown assets that may have tax, legal, and reputational risk from being sent to users without their explicit approval. Users must opt in to accept new assets. This could help in cases where, for example, blacklisted wallets send messages or access to random wallets in order to cause confusion to authorities or investigators who may be in the middle of an investigation or bad actor. We saw an example of that with Tornado Cash, where someone randomly sent assets to different individuals because Tornado Cash had just been sanctioned by the US government. So by doing so, they're trying to cause confusion and implicate more players within whatever issues they're embroiled in. So I think Algorand are onto something here with user protection. Now, as part of our DIWA or our risk evaluation, we are going to apply 13 elements. And those 13 elements include decentralization, security, scalability, interoperability, project team, social media presence via Twitter as well as via Discord, as well as use cases, before we finally end the evaluation with a jump into the tokenomics of Algorand. Starting with decentralization, in Algorand, every online user who possesses the Algorand tokens, the ALGOs, can participate in the consensus protocol. To reduce exposure, users do not use their spending keys, that is the keys they use to spend stake, for consensus. Instead, a user who wishes to participate in the protocol generates and registers the participation key. With this key, an account can participate in proposing and voting on blocks. Using participation keys ensures that a user's ALGOs are secure even if their participating node is compromised. Okay? The selection of users to participate in the certification of blocks using the VRF is done randomly and secretly, without any communication among the users. At the point this video was recorded, there were approximately 1,878 nodes. Okay, decent. As far as security is concerned, we have the Algorand rekeying in layer 1, where a user can change their private key without the need to change their public key. The use of Pixel, a pairing-based forward secure multi-signature optimized for use in blockchains. This addresses the issue of posterior corruptions, and since Pixel signatures are also forward secure by letting signers to evolve their keys. Using participation keys ensures that a user's assets are secure even if their participation node is compromised. Algorand also has a live bug bounty program over at Immunify. Now onto scaling. We have the Pixel signatures reduce the size of blocks with 1,500 transactions by up to 35% and reduce block verification time by up to 38%. Transaction per second is reported to be around 10,000 transactions per second. I think the actual TPS will be around the 5,000 to 6,000 mark. As far as interoperability is concerned, through Clarity, a smart contracts programming language developed in collaboration with Stacks, messages between the two networks are shared. That is, messages between Algorand and Stacks are shared. And through Yieldly, the Algorand ecosystem is bridged to other ecosystems such as Ethereum and Polkadot. Another collaboration with P Network sees one-to-one pegged assets being moved across any two chains. Okay, now onto the Algorand team. The Algorand team consists of internationally recognized researchers, mathematicians, cryptographers, and economists, among other experts across the business world. According to LinkedIn company profile, Algorand has got approximately 169 employees or team members. Social media presence via Twitter, Algorand has got over 324,700 Twitter followers and 36,700 Discord members. Now onto some of the tokenomics. Ticker symbol ALGO, ALGO. Token supply 10 billion with a hard cap. Circulating supply 7.2 billion, which is equivalent to 72%. Token distribution. The team, foundation, and other investors were allocated 25%. Public sale was held for 30% of the supply. Node running has been allocated 25%. Participation reward, I believe these are participation rewards for participating in different activities on the Algorand blockchain and ecosystem, 17.5%. End user grant, whatever that means, 2.5%. And according to our calculation, insiders account for approximately 50% of the total token allocation. Insiders mean those who are closely linked with the project, including early investors, the team, the foundation, and any supply that the team and the foundation have got closer control. We classify that as insiders. So Algorand has got 50% of their token allocation in the hands of insiders or under the control of insiders. So, like I've already said, as part of our DYO do our risk evaluation, we are going to apply 13 elements to evaluate Algorand. And as a recap, here are the 13 elements once more. We've got decentralization, security, scaling, interoperability, project team, social media via Twitter, social media presence via Discord, as well as the age of the project, use cases, tokens issued at project launch, tokens in circulation at the point at which we are doing this video, as well as maximum tokens available. Do we have a hard cap? And lastly, insider token allocation. Once we have scored these elements from 0 to 10, 0 being the minimum, 10 being the maximum or the best, we then aggregate the scores. The aggregate total is then classified under the following risk categories, because the whole essence of this exercise is to establish risk level, to see if it's worth our time and to risk our resources, in this case our cash, in investing into Algorand. So the highest risk is found within the no-go category. A project will have scored 0 to 64 points out of 130. The next category, which is less riskier than the no-go category, we call that could go to 0 category. Here a project will have scored 65 to 89 points out of 130. Then we have the potential category. Here a project will have scored 90 to 109 out of 130. Before we get to the least risk category, which is the go for it category, here a project will have scored 110 to 130 out of 130. So here are the scores we've allocated to Algorand. On decentralization, 5 points out of 10. On security, 7.5 points out of 10. On scaling, 7.5 points out of 10. Interoperability, 7.5 points out of 10. Project team, 10 points out of 10. Social media via Twitter, 7.5 points out of 10. Social media via Discord, 7.5 points. Age of the project, 5 points. Use cases, 7.5 points. Tokens issued at project launch, 5 points. Tokens in circulation at the point at which we are doing this video, 5 points. Maximum tokens available, 2.5 points out of 10. And finally, insider token allocation, as we have already stated, it's 50% and our threshold is set at 30%. So we are going to give Algorand on insider token allocation 0 points out of 10. Do you guys agree with the scores we've allocated to Algorand? If you're interested to share your views, comments down below and let us know your thoughts. The aggregate score for Algorand comes up to 77.5 points out of 130. Do you guys agree with that score? Do you think it's a fair assessment of what Algorand is as a project? Let us know in the comment section. So 77.5 points out of 130 put Algorand within the could go to 0 category, which is no surprise because majority of the projects we have reviewed, they tend to fall within this category. Only a few have come under the potential category. Do you think this is a fair assessment of what Algorand is as a project? Going through some of the technical stuff, again, I'll leave links in the description. There's so much, they've got so much content, so many research papers and stuff. If you want to know more about Algorand, I urge you to go and read for yourself and find out. As far as you're concerned, I think Algorand is a decent project. Of course, I would say that. Why? Because I already hold Algorand in my private portfolio. I do hold a decent bag, and Algorand is a project I do hold with high esteem, and I think we are going to add to our bag at these low prices that we are looking at, because at the moment I think it's fluctuating around the 20-cent mark. What do you guys think? Let us know your comments down below. What your thoughts are. If you hold Algorand, tell us whether you're going to hold it long term and whether the news coming from Australia are going to cement your belief in what Algorand can do as a project. As far as we're concerned, I believe this is just the start for Algorand. I think it's going to do quite well. Anyway guys, that's our take on Algorand, a third generation blockchain that claims to be the greenest blockchain out there. What are your thoughts? Let us know down below. Until next time guys, this is FDE for Sage5.tv signing out for now. Bye.